Hi guys, Steph here. Now, we've got one of the pens from my recent Sunday morning pen haul, but before I show you the pen, I've managed to, well, I've got lots of boxes. I've found this box, which is the original box for the pen. Well, that gives it away a little bit. The pen that we've got is a Stephens, it's a Leverfil. But before we show you the pen, I'd just like to show you the side here. It says Henry C. Stephens Limited, and it's Gillespie Road, Highbury, London. Now, first of all, Henry C. Stephens, or Henry Charles Stephens, well, they were a maker, if you like, of inks. So they were famous for making Stephens inks. So it gets a little bit confusing when we show you the pen in a minute, but as I say, we've got a lovely Stephens Leverfil fountain pen. As I say, I found this box, so I thought the pen deserves a box. So let's actually take out the instructions, which is nice to find as well. And if we open them up for you like so, you can see it's got the instructions to the top there. It's got the Stephens patented model, which I believe is like a button filler, and then the model that we've got here, you can see it's a Leverfil model, tells you how to clean, etc. after filling. So we've got the instruction leaflet with this pen, and then to the back a nice little touch for telling how and why and when use Stephens ink in a Stephens pen. So, well, that says it all, doesn't it? So, as I say, Henry C. Stephens Limited, they were a manufacturers of Stephens inks. So we'll pop the box to one side and let's have a look at the fountain pen. Absolutely gorgeous, a lovely, handsome Stephens fountain pen. As you'll see in a moment, this particular one, as I mentioned earlier, is a Leverfil fountain pen, and this model is the 270. So it's the Stephens 270 fountain pen. The date of the pen, I'm dating, well, late 1930s. I don't know, maybe, I believe maybe around about 1938. The size of the pen from the top of the cap to the bottom of the barrel, 129 millimeters capped around the barrel. It's a lovely chunky 12 millimeters in diameter. So all in all, a very nice sized pen. It comes with gold filled trim. As we mentioned, it's a Leverfil, so you can see it's got this gold filled lever here. Let's take you up to the cap. You can see it's got these two gold filled cap bands to the bottom of the cap, and then to the top there you can see, well, very reminiscent with Parker pens, and even, well, for you people that look into sort of the less known manufacturers, I've actually seen some Summit fountain pens with a similar clip, but it's got this, if you like, this, it looks like an arrow clip to the top of the cap there. Let's show you a sideways view. And then to the top there we've got this black cap stud which complements the end of the barrel there. You can see it's got this black end to the end of the barrel. So all in all, beautiful, beautiful pen. Let's show you the barrel imprint. It's got a lovely clear barrel imprint, and it reads Stephens Leverfil pen made in England. So very surprising. As I say, it's a lovely clear imprint there. I'm hoping that's nice and clear for you on the video. So all in all, very, very nice. The colour, I would say it's a sort of silver grey black marbled colour, although saying that, occasionally we find these red veins within the pattern there. And again, if we just show you the bottom there, you can see it's got these sort of red veins here and there. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful pen. As always, it's been fully restored, fully serviced. We've put a new sack in the pen. Absolutely gorgeous. Although it's a Stephens pen, which a lot of people will say, well, who's Stephens? It's not a well-known make. This pen is as good, if not, in my opinion, better than some of the major manufacturers of the period. It's an absolutely superb, quality made fountain pen, and again, just as good, if not better, than some of its competitors of that particular era. Now, Stephens, although we said earlier Stephens made fountain pen ink, the pens, I believe this pen was made by Curzon Summit of Liverpool, or Curzon Summit Langs of Liverpool, which basically, without getting too involved of the history, with the same company. So it's a Summit Langs made fountain pen from Liverpool, again presumably made for Stephens by them. So again, it gets very confusing. I believe these pens also come in different colours, in standard black and maybe greens or whatever. Let's undo the cap for you, give you a twirl, show you the pens at different angles. A very handsome pen. Now you can see there, this section has got a slight taper, it's got a ridge going towards the nib. It's quite a small section, although saying that, it's still a comfortable section and a pen to hold. Now, with a lot of these pens, these vintage pens from, as we said, 1930s, 1940s, occasionally, for whatever reason, the company or even the person who originally owned the pen, they change the nib, or the nib is exchanged. The reason being, we don't know why, but I find pens from, you know, these vintage pens occasionally, they don't have the original nib. Now the original nib for this particular pen is a Stephens warranted 14 carat 270 nib. So if I show you the nib on this pen here, keep it nice and still, and what you'll see, it says dual 14 carat super. Now dual, again, without getting too involved with the history, the dual was the Dual Pen Company, again from that particular era. So for whatever reason, somebody changed maybe the original nib, or the manufacturers did, I don't know, for this nib. Saying that, it's still a lovely and quite a large nib as well, this dual one. Let's give you a sideways view there. Let's turn it over, show you the feed to the back. You can see it's got this sort of, if you like, standard comb feed to the back. All very nice and cleaned. Some polish here and there. Absolutely lovely. As we said, it's been fully restored. I've put a new sack in it. So, yes and no. I know you want to see it writing. Right, let's take the top to the ink off. Let's bring the ink over here. And what we'll do is dip the nib in the ink. Open the lever. Let's give it a wipe. Let's pop the ink to one side. Bring on some paper. And with all these pens, you're seeing it right for the first time. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see how it writes. So what we have is a Stephens. As we said, it's a Leverfil. And as we mentioned earlier, this is the number 270. Its writing, I would say, with a fine to medium line, and it's actually got a little bit of variation before we even put a little bit of pressure on. But what I'm going to do, let's apply a bit of pressure on the downward stroke, and as we can see there, this nib has some flexibility in it. So let's do the figure of eights for you, and as you can see, we're getting a lovely variation. We're getting a bit of feedback on the nib, but saying that, a nice bit of flex in this nib. As you can see, we're getting a lovely variation in the line from fine to quite a broad line. So a very nice flexy nib. As I say, we're getting a bit of feedback when we're writing, but apart from that, lovely writer. Let's pop the cap back on, and there we have it. An absolutely gorgeous, or in my opinion, a handsome Stephens Leverfil number 270 fountain pen. And also, I do believe the 270 is actually, if you like, the top of the range within the Stephens pens of that particular period. Absolutely gorgeous. So let's pop it down. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the pen. As always, as much as I enjoy showing them to you people, leave a comment down below there. But for now, I'm just going to say bye bye for now.